What's up, Timmers here. With the new Rainmaker series out now on USA, since it is of course based on a John Grisham story, I decided to go ahead and do my top 8 favorite John Grisham adaptations. Because they're all actually more than 10. Like there is actually Christmas to the Cranks, which is not so good. But these are the 8. But I decided to just narrow down to 8 instead of just a top 10 here. So here are my official top 10 favorite, top 8 favorite John Grisham adaptations. All right, coming in at number 8 is The Gingerbread Man. Now this is about Lord Rick Magruder, who gets entangled in his like a dangerous conspiracy after helping a woman here, and it's of course directed by Robert Altman, who is always amazing. It's a very like Norrish take on Grisham's formula. It is really interesting. Of course, Kenneth Branagh stars in this, and Beth Davids. You had Robert Downey Jr., Daryl Hannah, Tom Berenger. There's like lots of really cool twists and turns around here. And Beth Davis, who I still always remember as Miss Honey from Matilda. She's always incredible. Obviously, it's a movie that Kenneth Branagh starred in that he did not direct. That's always cool, I guess. But it's an interesting, like '90s film worth giving a go. All right, number 7 is The Chamber. Now, The Chamber, of course, starred Chris O'Donnell, who, of course, was really hot at the time, thanks to playing Robin or. But The Chamber, of course, was released in 1996. Starring Gene Hackman, who actually is in this list a couple of times. Faye Dunaway, uh, yeah, Robert Prosky is also in this. It is about a young lawyer, Adam Hall, played by Chris O'Donnell, who fights to save his grandfather, a convicted racist bomber from execution. And it's like heavy themes and family drama that draws you emotional stakes here. It definitely great performances by Chris O'Donnell. Gene Hackman is always incredible here. Again, he is actually in this list a few times. So, yeah, he definitely seemed to had a knack for doing John Grisham stories. I think him and Tommy Lee Jones probably two of the actors who's done more Grisham stories. But yeah, Chamber is a really good one. It definitely has lots of themes, family dramas. Downey Jr. is great in this. Really decent film there. Number 6 is, speaking of Gene Hackman, number 6 is Runaway Jerry. Of course, starring, John Cusack, Gene Hackman, Rachel Weisz, uh, Dustin Hoffman was also in this. A really decent little jury film worth giving a go. It stars John Cusack as a juror and his girlfriend, and Rachel Weisz plays his girlfriend, who's manipulate a high-profile gun lawsuit outrunning a ruthless Jerry Casone, played by Gene Hackman. And of course, Dustin Hoffman was great in this. It had some really decent performance all around it. Lots of crazy twists and turns here. It was, of course, directed by Gary Fleder, who's done other really good stuff before, too. Really decent film, to say at least there. Number 5 is The Pelican Brief. Now, The Pelican Brief stars Julia Roberts as a law student, Darby Shaw, who uncovers a conspiracy behind a takeout of Supreme Court justice here. And this was like one of Julia Roberts' earliest roles. Like obviously, this was when she was coming off of starring in Pretty Woman and stuff. She is really solid in this one. It's directed by the always great Alan Pakula, starring Julia Roberts, Denzel Washington, who obviously will go on to be Oscar winners in their own right. It definitely has some other cool twists and turns around throughout. Of course, directed by Alan J. Pakula, who gave us movies like All the President's Men, Clue, Sophie's Choice. He sadly passed away in '98. He left behind some really good legacy films here. It's a really decent one. Definitely has some crazy, twisty plot to it. Roberts is great. Definitely well worth a watch there. All right, number 4 is The Client. I used to watch this tons of times. This was actually the first John Grisham story I've ever actually saw, believe it or not. It stars a young late actor, Brad Renfro, who sadly passed away in 2008. And this is about like this young kid named Mark Sway who witnesses a mob related suicide and hires his lawyer Reggie Love, played by Susan Sarandon, to protect him from danger here. The film, of course, blends like youthful perspective and legal intrigue that makes it stand out for its unique angle here. And Brad Renfro, sadly, he did pass away. Yeah, I think 2008. Well, believe it or not, at a very young age. Really good actor there too. Of course, Tom Lee Jones was great in this. Susan Sarandon, uh, Mary Louise Parker. It's directed by the late Joe Schumacher, who's always good. Really decent film. Crazy twists and turns around. Susan Sarandon trying to help this young kid get out from danger is really great. Like the chemistry between Susan Sarandon and Brad Renfro is really decent in this. And it's a really decent film worth giving out. All right, number three, the TV show is out now. But number three is, of course, The Rainmaker. Now, this, of course, stars Matt Damon as rookie lawyer Rudy Baylor, who takes on corrupt insurance company in a David versus Goliath battle. And, of course, this is directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who obviously gave us, some great stuff like The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, some not so great stuff like just recent Megalopolis. Yeah. And The Rainmaker has some other great folks. You got Jon Voight, Claire Danes, Danny DeVito, Mickey Rourke. Some really great, great supporting players. Great legal battles here. Of course, Jon Voight before he became whatever. Of course, he plays Leo Drummond, and he does such a good job here. I mean, say what you want about Jon Voight nowadays, with his political stuff, whatever. He actually was always amazing back in like the 80s, 70s, 90s, even early 2000s. And here definitely was one of his better performances. Matt Damon was great. Really good film there. All right. Number two is The Firm. Now, The Firm, of course, stars Tom Cruise. Of course, you have you also had Holly Hunter. Some really great supporting players. One of like Tom Cruise. Before he became he was still a big star at the time, but this was like before his Mission Impossible days and everything. Of course, this movie also has Gene Hackman in it. Told you, got about 3 Gene Hackman movies on this list. And here, of course, you got Tom Cruise, who plays Mitch McDare, who's a Harvard law grad who joins a shady Memphis law firm tied to the mob here. And The Firm is a really terrific film. Of course, Tom Cruise is great. Holly Hunter. I believe actually Holly Hunter got an Oscar nomination for this, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there. But it's a really decent film, worth giving a go. I never really read the books or anything, but some of the cool twists and turns was great. Directed by the always great Sidney Pollack. It's a really good one. They did actually do a TV show, I think early 2000s. That didn't really last too long. But The Firm is a really decent one, worth giving a go. And the best John Grisham adaptation is none other than A Time to Kill, starring Matthew McConaughey in his alright days. Of course, here you got Matthew McConaughey as young lawyer Jake Brignes, who defends a black man named Carl Lee Haley, played by Sam Jackson, who kills the man who assaulted his daughter here. Of course, you have a great cast that includes the likes of Kiefer Sutherland, Donna Sutherland, Sandra Bullock. Of course, this was also directed by the late Joe Schumacher, who also did The Client. It's a really interesting film. Great performances by the cast and crew. One of Sam Jackson's best performances, in my opinion. Gets pretty intense throughout, especially the flashback scenes. With Sam Jackson is really heartbreaking to say the least. It is a really terrific film, worth giving a go. I wonder if they actually could ever make this into a TV show. Who knows? I can easily see Glenn Powell playing the Matthew McConaughey role, but who knows? Anyway, that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 8, The Gingerbread Man. Almost keep wanting to call it The Gingerbread Man. Totally different film, by the way. Just look it up. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, number 8, The Gingerbread Man. 7, The Chamber. 6, Runaway Jury. 5, The Pelican Brief. 4, The Client. 3, The Rainmaker. 2, The Firm. And number 1 is A Time to Kill. let me ask you guys. What are some of your favorite John Grisham adaptations? Which like John Grisham's books that hasn't been adapted, you'll love to see again adaptation done one of these days. Have you ever read John Grisham stories? Drop down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Henry signing.